The behavior appears in small moments. It repeats without announcement. In meetings, a response forms, then stalls. A pause fills the space. Someone else speaks first. In group discussions, a position is held back. The thought is complete. The delivery is delayed. The floor moves on. When asked directly, the answer arrives late, not absent, delayed. Often after others have already framed the direction. During public exchanges, timing slips. A hand does not rise. A sentence begins, then stops. Another voice occupies the opening. This pattern does not occur once. It appears across settings, workrooms, social tables, public forums. Each time the sequence is similar. Recognition, pause, yield. Others step forward while the pause remains. Decisions proceed. Topics shift. The moment closes. The behavior is consistent. It does not escalate. It does not disappear. It repeats at a steady level. There is no visible struggle, no outward resistance, only delay. In conversations with authority present, the delay extends. In peer settings, it shortens but remains. In informal groups, it still appears. The behavior survives context changes. Different people, different stakes, same sequence. Responses are often well-formed. They arrive after relevance has passed. They are acknowledged briefly, then absorbed without adjustment. The pattern becomes predictable, not dramatic, not disruptive, simply present. Over time, others stop waiting. They do not interrupt. They proceed. The hesitation does not announce itself. It blends into the flow. It looks neutral. It feels orderly. The individual remains visible. Speech is not absent. Timing is. This is not a single lapse. It is not tied to fatigue or distraction. It occurs even when prepared. The repetition establishes itself quietly. Pause follows recognition. Yield follows pause. Nothing breaks. Nothing collapses. The pattern continues. By repetition alone, it becomes familiar. The repetition begins to register internally, not as concern, as adjustment. Expectation changes first. The mind prepares to wait, not to speak. A response forms with restraint built in. Timing is softened, edges are rounded. There is less pressure to enter early, not because it is unsafe, because it is unnecessary. The pause becomes familiar, comfortable, predictable. Thoughts remain intact. Confidence is not openly challenged, it is deferred. Each delay lowers the internal signal to act, not consciously, incrementally. The sense of readiness shifts. Action feels optional. Presence feels sufficient. Anticipation narrows. Moments pass without internal friction. The absence of response no longer demands correction. Silence becomes neutral, then expected, then preferred. The internal posture settles into observation. Assessment replaces assertion. Readiness replaces movement. There is no sharp doubt, no collapse of certainty, only reduced urgency to occupy space. The mind learns that delay carries no immediate cost. It adjusts accordingly. It slows initiation. Confidence remains private. Expression becomes conditional. Timing governs release. The internal voice shortens. Statements are compressed before leaving the mind. Some remain internal. There is no sense of loss, only narrowing of engagement. The pause is no longer felt as a pause. It feels like alignment, like restraint. Over time, expectation recalibrates. Being heard becomes less assumed, not rejected, just less automatic. The internal shift completes quietly. The posture stabilizes. Observation precedes participation. Nothing feels wrong. Nothing demands repair. The change registers only in hindsight. The behavior becomes legible to others, not remarked. Recognized. Responses are no longer anticipated. Space is filled without checking. Flow adjusts. Turn-taking shifts subtly. Openings are shorter. Pauses are not held. The delay is treated as a constant, not an exception, not a flaw. Others proceed without urgency, not out of dismissal, out of calibration. Contributions are received when they arrive. They are not solicited. They are not awaited. The pattern simplifies coordination. Decisions move forward. Discussion narrows. In shared settings, timing expectations reset. The group learns when motion occurs, it moves accordingly. There is no correction offered, no prompt given, no signal sent. The behavior is interpreted as preference, as restraint, as distance. Respect remains polite. Attention reallocates. Focus shifts toward earlier voices. The delay is not questioned, it is incorporated. Over time, others stop scanning for entry. They stop pausing mid-thought. They complete sequences uninterrupted. Authority cues migrate elsewhere, not removed, redistributed. The individual is still present, still acknowledged, less referenced. Predictability replaces engagement. The group knows what will happen, and when. This does not feel punitive, it feels efficient. Social rhythm adapts. The beat continues. The pause is absorbed. No one names the change. No one needs to. Recognition settles quietly. The behavior is understood. The system adjusts around it. The pattern continues without resistance. It does not accelerate. It does not correct. Participation becomes selective by default. Entry points narrow. Moments pass unused. The role stabilizes. Observation precedes involvement. Involvement follows permission, not impulse. Others adjust further. Initiative consolidates elsewhere. Direction forms before input arrives. The individual remains included. Presence is constant. Influence diffuses. Decisions absorb fewer contributions from this position, not by exclusion, by momentum. The delay reshapes expectation over time. Authority is no longer assumed at the outset. It is inferred later, if at all. Statements land after alignment has formed. They refine. They rarely redirect. Responsibility shifts subtly. Tasks requiring immediacy move away. Reflective roles remain. This redistribution feels natural. It follows observed behavior. It requires no discussion. Internally, readiness adapts to the external pattern. There is less anticipation of reliance, more tolerance for peripheral placement. The social field continues to organize itself. Energy flows toward earlier signals. Late signals integrate softly. Nothing collapses. Nothing ends. The structure holds. The trajectory does not point to removal. It points to narrowing, to quiet specialization. Authority becomes situational, conditional on timing, conditional on invitation. The drift remains gradual. It feels earned by repetition, not imposed. The pattern sustains itself. Delay produces adjustment. Adjustment reinforces delay. There is no final state reached, only a direction maintained. The movement is subtle, ongoing, unfinished. Recognition arrives without ceremony. The position is understood. The path continues. The identity settles without declaration. Not chosen, accrued. Presence remains steady. Expectation shifts around it. Speech is still possible. It is no longer presumed. Authority exists in fragments, context-bound, moment-bound. Others listen when words arrive. They do not pause for them. The self is not erased. It is reclassified. Capability remains intact. Trust thins at the edges. Nothing announces the change. It is inferred through rhythm. The role is no longer central. It is adjacent, peripheral without exclusion. Influence appears after alignment, not before. The internal image lags behind the external one. Recognition arrives slowly, without shock. There is no loss named, no grievance formed, only a quiet distance between intention and reception. The identity carries this distance forward. It does not resist it, it accommodates it. The silence is not empty, it is weighted. No statement resolves it, no moment seals it. The pattern holds, the tension remains. What is seen is what continues.